Hello. For replay purposes, thank you for coming. Please hit the like button. That would be wonderful. I'm trying to God, I slept so hard my damn eyes are full. Oh, good Jesus. Hey, disorder. I cannot. I was slept late, guys. Hey, London girl. I never sleep late. I didn't have to get up at 4:30, but damn. Damn. ASTA, my sweet love. I'm glad to see y'all this day. I was gonna try to cam up, but I don't know if that's gonna work. I literally look like I got punched in the eyes. And if I'd have woke up earlier, I probably would have put ice on them, but I didn't. I did it. Woke up at 1:15. What? That's crazy. How's everybody doing this good Sunday? Is there any drama going on? I hope not. I hope not, because if it is, I missed it. I'm sure it'll pick up, though. Don't worry. We don't worry. Charlie K. Ah, the Jets. I know. Like, we got my son's a Packers fan. So we have a Packer game and a race going on. So it's upstairs. It's going to be switching. And then when hockey starts, it's going to be triple switching because the Leafs usually play on Sunday nights. So look, I slept like a teenager last night for sure. Then I started having these weird dreams. Janie, you got the Bengals on? Yeah. I have a feeling when I go upstairs, it's going to be But we got a new TV. Hey, Peggy, our TV in the back in the kitchen just blowed up, and that's usually where I am. And on that TV, an $89 TV. I mean, you know, nobody needs a $4,000 TV. You got an $89 TV in the kitchen, but it lets freestyle. It gives you like four. You can do 4 screens. I'm not. My ADD is too much. I can't do that. I can't have 4 options on a television, or we're not going to get anything done. Nothing's gonna get watched. So anyway, I hope y'all are good. Charlie, look. This is how, Charlie, this is how I sum up my love of the Toronto Maple Leafs. At the beginning of the year, they make me promises, right, that they are going to dominate the NHL. I believe them. I get back together with them. We date for a little while. They disappoint me all through the year. They go to the playoffs. They really disappoint me. I break up with them all summer. And then when it's, September, I go back with them. Hey, Charlotte's Webbing. I get back together with the Maple Leafs. And we do it all again. They promise me this. They deliver this. They break my heart in the playoffs. I say, F you. I'm going to find someone else I like. The Toronto Maple Leafs suck. I hate them. But then we get back together. Hey, Courtney. So this is a live stream about supporting each other as caretakers. Now, you could be a caretaker of just about anybody, a friend, family, whatever. I think as baby boomers get older, we got more of it. I mean, we're always going to have it, but baby boomers are now moving into that, 80 to whatever. And so it's stressed, I think, the whole system of, I can't speak for any other country. Do you want to come up, Miss Janie? I'm going to put the link in here because I know people need to. You take care of your stepdad. Yeah. It's that really odd switch to being a child and then having to be the parent to your parent. It's bad. It's really bad. You know what? It's a good. Yeah, well, London, it's the same here, basically. I mean, it's try to get into a neurologist, an orthopedic, it's full. It's absolutely full. Hey, Mr. Lightning, comes my friend Jane up here, girl.
Hey, right off the bat, I just want to say if I mute myself or anything like that, it's because I'm having a coughing fit or blowing my nose or something. Don't worry about me. If I don't answer you, it just means I can't at the moment.
Okay. They're playing in Toronto. SDA, what are you talking about? I hope you're talking about my Maple Leafs. Yeah, Jenny, I just woke up 45 minutes ago. What the hell?
Well, it sounds like you had a good sleep in then.
I did though. I really did. Except for the end. You know when you get in these dreams and you're so deep in them that your body wants to wake up, but your brain's going, no, let's stay here. For a little.
And those are good mornings though, you know?
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't. So tomorrow,
I like the mornings when I wake up and I don't have to pee right away.
Yes.
And I just lay in bed and like stretch and roll around and all that.
Yeah. You know what? They are the best mornings. They really are. You don't have to get up. I woke up with 2 cats on me. You know, and then I looked, I said, oh, it's probably 10 o'clock. You know, oh my God, I've slept till 10. When I looked at my watch, I was like, oh shit. So I had to jump up and we don't have any coffee. I don't even want to talk about that.
You don't have coffee or you just don't have coffee made?
There's no coffee in this house.
All right. Someone has fallen down on the job and you need to dish out some punishment.
There's gonna be some disciplinary action. I can tell you that right now. It ain't gonna be good. Because then I call my husband and he's out and about with Catherine. And I said, hold on, here comes a Viper. A Viper.
I don't have headphones, so I'm going to keep myself muted unless I have something to
say. Okay, you sound fine. So it's good. You sound good.
It's not
I'm with a lady. We'll call her Janet.
Okay.
Who receives home care so she can stay at home instead of going to a nursing home.
That's Miss Janet, all right? I've talked to her.
Yes, you have. Say hi, Miss Janet.
Hello, Miss Janet.
Hi.
This is my according to YouTube, my other wife.
Yeah.
He's my best caregiver I've ever had in 27 years.
The only male too.
And the only male one too.
Yeah.
I don't doubt you for a minute. I told you, I think the last time we talked, both of us are very lucky to have Angelo on our side of life.
Don't get me wrong, she's a stubborn mule sometimes, but
I'm horrible.
She's a lovely lady. She's what are you, 79 now, right?
70, I don't know, I'm 47.
All right. Well, you gotta make me do math on live stream, really?
Lulu, hello.
78, 79, somewhere in that neighborhood. Anyways, so I don't know what you guys call it in your states, but we call it home care.
Right.
And or companion care or caregiver, whatever you want to call it. And prior to the changes, they used to be able to pick whatever agency you wanted to go through. And the caregiver would be employed through that agency, and then the agency basically pawns you out to these individuals that need caregivers. You go through like a little interview process, see if the person you're going to be caring for is compatible with you and you're compatible with them. And then if you are, you get to work, whatever hours they get. And I think, what do you get, like 49 or something? Yeah, she gets like 49. Now, I'm not going to discuss her full care stuff because that's for her to talk about, but she requires a lot of care.
Yeah.
And 49 hours aren't enough.
No.
And the other problem is the quality of caregivers. Like they're slim pickings because nobody wants to do it.
And it's such a it's like I said before, it's that system that I don't know if it's got enough people, honestly, because you got these, like my mom was a baby boomer, and it's just yeah, nobody really can afford it. I mean, most people cannot afford it. It's a lot of money. So
We were,
it does
we were at the point where I had I think we had like a total of 4 people with me, and I guess she calls me the primary, so like basically everything goes through her and I, and then she leaves it to me to make the decision. So I was going away for a couple weeks, as you know.
Yeah.
So I had all the caregivers lined up, and the Friday that I leave, one of the caregivers doesn't show up. So she's calling me. I'm halfway into Pennsylvania, Dutch County. She's like, the caregiver never showed up, and I'm like, what do you mean he never? We sat there for an hour and a half, all of us, making a schedule and agreeing to everything. So I call up the caregiver. I'm like, hey, like, why didn't you show up to work with Janet? Jeanette. Why didn't you show up to work with Janet? And she's like, oh, I went on vacation. I was like, well, why didn't you say you were going on vacation when we were making the schedule? That would kind of been useful.
Yeah, that would have been useful.
I mean, then I wouldn't have put you on the schedule. She goes, oh, I figured she knew. I'm like, how is she going to know? She's your boss.
God.
So anyways, long story short, I ended up having to figure out ways to get her caregivers. Now we have a good team. We have 2 people, me and another person, and we're doing a pretty decent job. And I'm like, I call up her insurance company. I'm like, hey, this lady needs more hours. She needs like 80 hours a week, so that she has caregivers in the morning, caregivers in the afternoon until she goes to bed.
Right.
They're like, well, she needs a face-to-face with her doctor. I said, that's great. I said, she hasn't been out of the house in 27 years. What do you want me to do? The doctors typically come here. Well, they can't come here for this. You have to go there for that. So I'm like, okay, so basically you want me to take a woman who doesn't like going out of her home into a truck that she needs a ladder to get into.
Right.
To a doctor's appointment that she's petrified of going to be told you need more hours by the doctor that they could do over the phone through Zoom. Because nothing's changed. She's still 70-something years old. She still has all the same ailments she had before.
Right.
Except worse. And she's attached to an oxygen machine for the rest of her life. So I'm like, so anyways, we did all that. And then I set up the interview after that one with her insurance company. This one's fun. We set it up for Friday at 9:30. Okay. So I come here and off hours. I'm not getting paid. I come here. And I'm waiting, and it was almost 10 o'clock. I'm like, why is this lady not calling? So I called the lady. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I thought you guys were going to be calling at 9:30 for her increased hours. And she goes, no. We did Monday at 9 because she couldn't do Friday. I was like, first of all, you were talking to me, and I set the interview up, and I never said anything about Monday because Monday I'm not here. Why would I set it up for a day that I'm not going to be here? I set it up for Friday at 9:30. It's 10 o'clock. And then she started arguing with me. Then there's a language barrier because she has a very thick accent. So finally she begrudgingly is like, well, if you're there now, I could Zoom you. I was like, well, that's a great idea. Let's do that. So we Zoom it, and she's asking questions. And then Janet, she handles about 5 minutes of talking before she's done. And I mean done, like not just done talking, she's done with everyone and everything. You get out of her way, she's going to chew you up. That kind of done.
Yeah.
So finally, after all the language crap, we're able to get through it. She goes, okay, well, she's definitely going to get an increase in hours, but I don't think it's going to be 80. I'm like, okay, so how many do you think? Well, I don't know. We won't know for 5 days. You can't tell me after this interview, you're the one that makes the decision. You can't tell me how many more hours she's going to get so I can schedule and get things ready for the aides.
Right.
So anyways, long story short, now everything's under one company, Shannon. So before it used to be a whole bunch of different agencies. You can go through any of them, right?
Right.
Now it's through one umbrella because the state felt like we needed an oversight as a way of reeling in fraud. Now, I will say there is a lot of fraud. So that the idea behind it was good.
Yeah.
The problem is they went with one of the worst companies ever to do this. They're in multiple states, being sued by multiple states for a shit ton of failures, like not paying the caregivers, for instance. 3 weeks.
That's a biggie. That's a biggie.
I mean, I still came in and worked because I can't leave her without a caregiver.
Yeah.
So I still do my job. But meanwhile, there's some people who rely on that income. Me, I didn't need it. I would have done it for free anyway.
Right.
That's when they start taking time off all the time.
Yeah. Say it. Say it with your chest.
Whenever they start getting the paychecks, then what? Oh, I'm going to be to my schedule. No, you're not going to be to your schedule. It's got to be the schedule that I want. Every day, I don't know what time to come and what time to leave it.
There you go.
Y'all hear Miss Janet? She ain't playing around.
Straight from the yeah. She had the new girl. She set up her schedule. She's like, I'm gonna work 8. What did she say? 8 to 4. I'm gonna work 8 to 4 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I was like, that's perfect. I'll cover Wednesdays and Sundays. And then it didn't happen.
Imagine that.
And then the other time, she's like, "Can you work Monday because I have to go here, and can you cover for me Tuesday because I have this?" And I'm like, so finally, I worked Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm like, I don't get it. But like, it's a very complex problem. But they think they can fix it with a Band-Aid, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
You can't fix it with a Band-Aid.
It's not.
They're not talking to the consumers. Like, they're doing all these studies, and I'm like, have you guys talked to consumers? No, we don't need to talk to the consumers. We can talk to the caregivers. The caregivers are the problem. You need to talk to the consumers.
Talk to the caregivers if you can find them, because we can't.
You know, like, and half the people don't want to work. I don't know, man. I'm stressed. I'm confused, but I'm making sure she gets taken care of. I did get her to gain 4 pounds. That's a big.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, it's all the cooking. It took me a year. It did take a year.
Yeah.
I started making her homemade pumpkin banana waffles. She loves those. And then my wife, she's a prepper, so she's got tons of food prepared.
Yeah, y'all have no idea about Nancy Stevens right now. Nancy Stevens can feed a small city for at least 5 years.
Maybe 5. Probably 3.
Yeah, okay, maybe 3.
They can just show up when they're supposed to.
Yeah, they just show up and they're supposed to. That's all I have. I don't want to take up too much of your stream. Miss Janie Bobani, it is so good to see you. I hope you are doing well and staying blessed.
I'm doing fine. Thank you. It's good to see you too.
All right, y'all have a great day. I'm going to drop down and listen from the side chat.
Okay, love you.
Love you too.
Okay, get out of here. All right, so I see a lot of comments in the comment section, and it's overloaded for sure. Hey, I'm a Candy. And this is important. And when I first started doing this, I said we need to do this at least once a week, or at the very least twice. Once every 2 weeks, because it is so hard. I can tell you that yesterday, my mother still drives. All right, because her doctor's like, she's fine to drive. I'm like, really? Okay, well, So yesterday, she was going to see my 103-year-old grandmother, and Catherine and I were outside on the carport. I spend all my time there, and my mom starts going down the driveway, right, backing up. And then she gets to the end of the driveway and she's looking back and forth, back and forth. My mother has not started the car. So I walked down there and I said, start the car. And she said, something's wrong with the car. And I said, start it. So she did. Now, my mother's never had an accident in her life. And 20 minutes later, I get a phone call from her. I back in. I ran into someone's back in. Oh, great. So Chris takes off and goes, and Catherine goes, and she just doesn't get it. So now we are faced with having to take those keys from her, and it's going to be a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. She is going to fight tooth and nail for these things. And what do? There are many people under retirement. Yeah. Your mom never drove.
That was a problem with my mother too, with the keys.
Yeah, my grandmother drove into her 90s and she was fine. And no, Peggy, that's not going to happen anymore. So now, and I don't mean to sound ungrateful, or maybe that's the word. I don't mean to sound like that, but now I'm now going to have to taxi her everywhere she needs to go. And we're talking about eye doctors. She's got to go to the oncologist. She's got to go, to her neurologist. She's got to do this. So that leaves very little time for the things that I need to do for myself. Like, I've got a new psychiatrist. I've had, 2 leave the place that I go. My 2 have left. This is number 3. You can't get in, on the 15th, I have to go. But she's got appointments. So, I mean, I cannot miss this appointment. I don't want to miss this appointment. I don't know. And then it's she fell again. My mom fell last night while I was down here. They got, Kristen and Catherine got her up. So we're going into a new phase of her illness, which is more and more, she's becoming less and less independent, which she hates, which she takes out on us when it's, not, I didn't do it. It is, I don't know who to take it out on. Ain't me. I didn't do it. But they take it out on the one that's right there. And I get that. She's done that all my life. But it just, like I described it last night as being a polar bear hanging on to a little piece of ice in a very warm ocean. And that a little ice cube is going to melt soon. Yeah. Yeah, I do. But see, Catherine's she's at college 5 days a week and with varying times of the day. But hey, Carrie, Catherine's job is college. So, hey, Ghostface, how are you, honey? What's my favorite scary movie? Blair Witch Project. This is my favorite scary movie. Yeah, I'm a Candy. It's.
Have you and your mother had any discussions about like where the line is drawn as far as being able to stay at home or whatever? No. Like with my mom, we had a discussion when she moved in that if she got to the point where she could not get around the house without a wheelchair or something like that, then this wouldn't be a safe place for her. Or if she could not get to the bathroom without a wheelchair or something, because I happen to live in a home that's older. The doors are all way too small for wheelchairs and walkers. And so we were looking at a situation where if she got to the point where she could not at least walk with a cane or something, that it would not be safe for her to be here.
Right. And that's a good plan.
Yeah. And so that, that's why my mom now is in a nursing home. She loves it there. Thank goodness.
Right. It's a good one. You're lucky you got a good one.
Well, and not only is it a good nursing home, but I think she loves it because she doesn't have to be with me. Not that she doesn't love me and that I don't love her, but a lot of mother-daughter, especially relationships, are kind of difficult.
Toxic. They're toxic.
And so her all of a sudden having to feel like I was the boss of her,
right?
And she was living in my house, and the change of the relationship that way caused her a lot of kind of resentment, and it caused me a lot of like anxiety because I didn't want to always be the reason she was upset, but it is my house.
Exactly.
And,
it's that thing of being tethered to your house.
Right.
when she's there. Like now I cannot do 90% of what I used to do because I have to be here. I don't want to leave Catherine here alone and have to deal with it if she falls, whatever. So, the races that I should have gone to, the hockey games that I should have gone to, the vacations we should have had have stopped for
Right.
me. Everybody else gets to do what they want to do. I am tethered to a home. And like when we talk, you talk about making a plan. My grandmother's 103. Now, I say that all the time, but you have to listen, is that if I should, and my grandmother lives in an assisted living, not a nursing home. She used to have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo on the first floor. And then when she started to fall more, they moved her up. And so now she's got a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, apartment. Now, if I tried to even discuss taking my mother somewhere where she's safer than here, my aunts, my grandmother would murder me. They would murder me because, well, look at your grandmother. She's 103, and yeah, but it's my mom is 80. My grandmother at 80 was much different than my mother at 80. It was night and day. It's not the same thing at all.
Exactly.
So here's my mother's favorite saying. I had children so they would take care of me when I'm old. That she's told me that I had you so you will take care of me when I'm old. That's a great thing for a kid to grow up hearing.
Well, and I know a lot of people don't like hearing it. It sounds terrible to say this.
Have a great day.
But you weren't born to take care of your parents. Your parents had you to take care of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of people feel that pressure or that like reciprocation where you feel like you have to take care of your parents, but you don't.
Right.
Like I said, it sounds like a terrible thing to say.
Matt, it is fucked up. You got
we weren't born to take care of our parents, And that comes back to what you said about how your aunts and your grandmother would just absolutely throw a fit.
God.
But you have to remember that you're a person too, and you only have one life to live. And if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone.
And that is the big thing. You gotta put yourself in that rotation of somebody that needs to be cared for because you need to be cared for. And it's the only way you're gonna do any good for your parent, your whatever, whoever.
Right.
And that's a hard, being selfless has its, drawbacks. Can we just say that? It has its drawbacks. And any kind of resentment that you had with your parent, brother, sister, whatever, when you were younger, it inflates when this happens. It doubles, triples, and it becomes this weight on the whole situation that is unbearable. Honestly, it's unbearable. Sometimes I think I don't deserve this. But then that makes me feel bad because I'm talking about myself and not my mother. She doesn't deserve it either,
Because society tells you should feel bad for that too.
Exactly.
Because that's kind of the way. It's wonderful if people can and are willing and feel like their parents are so great and we're good to them that they want to do that. That's wonderful. That in a perfect world, everyone would feel that way.
Yeah.
But it's not a perfect world, and we all have our own individual things we're dealing with. And it comes back to like when my mom had to go in the hospital because she had a heart attack and they found out that she had cancer and They sent her to like a cardiac rehab, and it came the day where they just said, okay, she's ready to be discharged. And I said, okay, so where is she going? And they said, well, home. And I said, she's been in there for 36 days or whatever it was. She has not been on her feet a single time because she could no longer walk. I said, so how am I supposed to take care of her in my home? That sounds to me like you're sending her into an abusive situation.
Setting
Not
her up
that
for
I would have
failure.
chosen for it to be abusive, but if
Yeah.
I can't take care of her bathing because we only have a little shower stall. If I can't get her through doorways because it's not big enough for wheelchairs, how am I supposed to lift her? You're basically sending her to somewhere that she's going to be unwillingly neglected. I don't want to neglect my mother. And they didn't care, so
Yeah.
when do you draw the line?
When my mother fell back, I don't even remember when it was, and she was in the hospital for a week, and then she was in rehab for like 2 weeks, and they were like, yeah, she can come home next week. And I'm like, wait a minute, it takes 2 or 3 of y'all to get her to the bathroom,
Mhm.
and it takes more to get her to a shower, and you're just going to, you're setting her up. She's gonna fall again. And I said, we will see you soon, we'll be back. And
Exactly.
there was nothing they were just like, well, sorry, your insurance, her insurance, her insurance, yeah, her insurance.
And they told me, they said, well, we can send someone out there who can get her a hospital bed and all of that in the home.
No.
That's not the problem. We
Yeah.
could put a hospital bed in here, but what, she gonna live in a hospital bed? That's it? Because I can't get her out of the room if she can't walk on her own.
Exactly.
If our doorways in this house aren't big enough even for a walker, how am I going to get a wheelchair through?
And they don't care.
No, they don't. And I just flat out told the social worker from the hospital, I said, it seems to me like you have a duty to report, any abuse or anything like that. You're a mandated reporter. And I am telling you before you even send her home that it will be an abusive situation, not because I choose to abuse or neglect my mother, but because there is no possible way that we can care for her in our home.
Right.
Even if you send a nurse, even if you send 2 nurses, how are you going to get her into a bathroom for bathing? Well, then we'll do bed baths. You can't live on bed baths.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
But there are people who would have heard that, like someone who feels, responsible, who would have said, oh, I'll do whatever I have to do then. And in the long run, my mother, who, if I would have done that, would have been abused and neglected. Not by choice, but because there's no help.
Yeah, and we're getting older. Like, it's not only that I'm getting older. What I can do for my mother is, like, if I have to pick her up, I can't do it. She's dead weight.
That's what I told him. I said, I'm 5'3" and I have scoliosis. How am I going to pick up on another human being when I'm lucky to be able to get my own butt up off the floor?
There you go. They don't care. You figure it out. We don't care.
They were ready to just send her. He said she can't have, we need the bed. Whoa.
Yeah.
We're not talking about beds right now. We're talking about my mother's life.
Yeah, we're talking about my mother, not a bed. Stop referring to her as a bed. Hi, Kyle. Yeah, she is not a bed. That's exactly, you know what? That's exactly the way I feel. You summed that up. They wanted to get her out so they could get somebody else in there. I don't.
Because her insurance only paid for 30 some odd days.
Right. Amen.
We're going to be honest about it. That's why.
Yeah.
If her insurance would have paid for a year, I'm sure she would have needed a year's worth of care.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm looking at the chat and I'm looking at, people, NHR here is the same way. We need the bed. It's become a business. Being elderly has become a big business. And as you know, we got to face it. And I see, right, Remy was talking about, she takes care of, you know, somebody, and then somebody else, and their family gets sick, and you're like, I'm done. You got to find, you know, I'm sorry. I am over here doing everything I have to do. I am not going to be able to help. You know, 'cause this is the way my mother is this way. My husband's father, his knees are bad. They won't do an operation because he's really big, and he like, they gave him Ozempic for 1 month at work, and then they wouldn't pay for any more so that he could lose some weight so he could go. You know, it's a never ending circle. Crazy acres. Most of my parents are in hospice. Dad is blind now. Oh God, mom can barely walk. Both are on oxygen now, and I have 10 hours a week to help. I say that it takes a very special kind of person to do this. And so we all probably need to, pat ourselves on the back, hey, legends, that we are that special kind of person. And being that special kind of person doesn't mean we're running around here happy to do anything that we, oh, well, I'm at your service. So, no. It means giving up part of your independence and your life because the people that you need to care for don't have theirs.
Right.
Hey, gossip and conspiracy. What are you doing? Yeah, well, I've done them before, and didn't just kind of stop, but it does have to be. We probably have to have these every couple of weeks because, again, things change every couple of weeks. With I'm a Candy, straight Medicare, 20 days full paid. And that, and I say, if my mother, God forbid, because she would kill me, has to go into some kind of, nursing home, assisted, whatever, we have to get rid of everything she owns so that Medicare will pick her up.
Isn't that crazy?
It is absolutely
the same thing with my mother too. And here's the thing: my mother worked very hard all her life. Yep. Whether it was being a single mother, and working hard at that, and then when we got old enough that she didn't need to be home, she worked outside the house, and she worked very hard, and she got, retirement benefits. She gets a check every month, not only from Social Security, but she also gets one from her retirement.
Right.
Every single month she gets it, and it puts her over the amount before they'll step in and help pay for her care.
Oh yeah, Remy, it would come to me, but it's just like Janie said, my mother worked so hard for it. And, there's something about handing over everything you've ever owned, or selling, whatever she wants, it'd be up to her. To make her do that is like another slap in her face that, you have to be destitute to get the mediocre care that 90% of the funeral homes. Oh God, I didn't mean to say that. The nursing homes, I mean, at best, 90% are mediocre. All right. And if you want to get her into a really good one where there's a wait list, you're not going to get her in there. It's not going to happen.
Well, and also a lot of the really good ones are private pay.
Yes.
They don't accept Medicare. They don't accept Medicaid. None of that. They are private pay.
Right.
And we're talking thousands of dollars a month.
Many thousands.
Even with Medicare paying for my mom and a little bit of state aid through Medicaid, I still write a check every month for over $2,000.
And see, that's the way my grandmother is. I understand everything you're saying. I took care of my 90-year-old father when he fell and broke his hip, moved him into my home, and you were the 24-hour. It is, Pat, again, I've said it, and I'm going to take credit for it. People who take care of their in-laws, their mother, their father, we are special kind of people. I will take that. I will pat myself on the back for that and say, you know what? You ain't perfect, but you're doing it. A lot of us are stuck And I hate to use that word too because it sounds so
It sounds
disrespectful.
selfish. It sounds
Yeah.
selfish.
It-
But we deserve to be a little bit selfish about our own lives, I
I
think.
think so. Jesus, I think so. Because again, we're getting older too. And when Catherine went back,
Aging as well as the
yeah,
generation before us.
exactly. And I think we're aging faster.
Like when my mom was
uh,
in her 50s, she was still out playing
thank
golf
you,
every
Dad.
day and working all the time. And I'm in my 50s and I'm like, if I have to do vacuuming and mopping on the same day, I'm
Yeah.
sitting down for a while.
Well, I can remember I'm 57. I know I mention it all the time. But when I look back at photographs when my grandmother was 57, she looked like a little old lady. I'm sorry. And so now, I mean, we might have better hair than they did or whatever, but it's still the same. We got the same bodies. We got the same shit going on. When Catherine went back to college, she was here all summer. So it wasn't just me here. But now that she's off at college, well, I say off, she goes, it's in town. But for, X amount of hours a day, some days a week, I am alone here. Because my husband is one of those that works like he's been off since Friday. He'll work Monday and he'll work Tuesday. Then he's off Wednesday and Thursday. Then he works Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So he's not always here. My son is at work. I'm scared to death that she's gonna fall, and I'm gonna have to try to get her up because and then we've got she had cancer, not big places, radiation took care of it, but now we've got another glowing red spot, in a spot that was not, it's not where the other two were. So now we've got this to take care of, right? We gotta they're gonna check it in 3 months because of I don't know. It's a I've got let's talk about that too. You have to be able to understand what a doctor is saying. And they've gotta break it down for me. I don't know. You give me I know what a CT is, I know what a PET scan is, all that, but they use terminology like I'm like, wait a minute, wait. Talk to me like I'm not a doctor because I don't know what the hell you're talking about right now. And then you gotta keep all that straight, all those drugs
Right.
straight, and then I've got the Parkinson's you gotta keep straight. Then the neuropathy at your throat. I mean, it's like never ending. It's never ending.
Yeah.
And I've got to be like a Rhodes Scholar to figure out when she needs pills at what time.
Yeah.
And
Well, this is another reason why I wish you and I had gotten
Mhm.
along sooner. And by the way, hello, Sarah. I saw you say hi. Because my mother also has Parkinson's, and my mom and your mom are about the same age. We're
Mhm.
about the same age, and I feel like all this time we could have maybe been a little bit of support for each other.
Right.
But you and I both have our own mental health issues as well. Now, I'm not the best at keeping track of my own medication all the time. And now you're telling me I also have to take care of my mother's medication.
Exactly.
And make decisions for my mother. And when the doctor calls, I have to talk to the doctor before she makes a decision because she wants to know that I know what's going on because she doesn't necessarily understand. And now I'm supposed to understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Somebody said that they when they're at the doctor's with their parent, they go, hold on, slow down, because they're trying to write it down. That's what I do. 100%. 100%. That's what everybody. Hey, Cinnamon Girl. So the reason I love to have these is because I said it last night. When you are at the end of your rope and you think to yourself, I am so alone, nobody understands. Honestly, the two most comforting words are "me too."
Me too.
And that way you can go,
I hear you.
yeah, I'm not alone. I'm not, I always feel bad for getting, and I'll call it selfish, but that's what I don't know if it is
Well,
selfish. It's like just give me one day.
society in the world will make you feel selfish.
It really will. 100%. Yeah.
You probably remember me having a problem with someone talking about how if you put your parent in a nursing home, you're a piece of shit
Yeah.
and all of that. Okay, see, that's what society keeps. It's not like we don't say that enough to ourselves, right?
Exactly.
But then you hear that coming out of other people's mouths, and you think, you know, maybe I am just a selfish piece of shit.
Right.
I know I'm not, because the selfish thing to do would have been to have just made it work under any circumstance and have her suffer for it.
Yeah.
Right? Have my mom actually suffer because I gave in to the opinions of society who say that's your parent, you take care of them no matter what. Even if you can't get them a good bath, even if you can't get them through the doorway to whatever they need to do, even if you can't get them to a doctor, you make it work any way you have to, right? Because that's how you feel about it.
Right, exactly.
I feel like I should, but we're talking about real life here, and who would be the person who suffered the most for
it's the
me?
parent.
Exactly.
It's the
Just
parent.
like when people do that with their children, it's the children who suffer.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, boss,
So,
what you doing, girl?
hey,
Missing you. What you been up to, love? I'm sorry I haven't been around much.
So like we're having this discussion now about caregivers. I've been taking care of my mom and
Yeah, me too.
trying
I've
to you've got smaller children, boss, so you really in for it.
No, I take care of my household. I take care of my mom. My mom had a giant hole in her leg, and it's still
Oh,
not fully healed. And she had a virus that ate away your skin. It's called blood crabs. The
oh,
crabs is an acronym for a different, and it was highly contagious to other people. My mom had to stay out of rehab for how many months? 7 months in isolation.
wow. Oh,
Like
wow.
I had to go in with a full on like how they go into surgery. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, it's
And before that, I heard that you guys were talking about putting your parents in a home. Trust me, I was
well, yeah,
against that.
yeah. It's yeah. They
I I was against that until I saw what happened to my grandma and my tutu and my beepaw. My beepaw was the only one taking care of her, and he had 2 replacement knees. And my grandmother had dementia, like really bad dementia. You know what I mean? And he took care of her for for as long as he could until because he's a heavy sleeper and he can't hear. His ears were blown out, because he grew up in Hawaii and dove extremely deep into the ocean, fishing and hunting and all that crap. But she got out and she was wandering around, and my beepaw put her in a home, but he visited her every day, every day, unless he was dying sick. He was there every day seeing her, with no doubt. In the morning, right there, taking care of her. So if there's circumstances like that, I completely understand. Dementia is one of the worst ones. It's bad.
Oh, thank you, Stellar. I appreciate you. Thank you
yeah,
so
and
much.
I just want to say too, I've worked in nursing homes through mental health things and all of that, and when I see people in nursing homes who get family visits or friend visits on a regular basis, they do
Yeah.
so much better and they are treated better. I hate to say it, but if you show up there all the time, different times a day, same time of day, every day, whatever, your person will be taken care of better than someone who never gets any visitors. And it's terrible to admit it, but it is true.
Oh, I definitely agree, because when my mom was there, they sat there and tried to like place like someone yelled at my mom, okay? And they knew that I popped up almost every other day when I wasn't working or taking care of these kids. Okay. They all knew at my mom's rehab center, you don't mess with my mom. You do your job, be cordial. Don't disrespect my mother because you will deal with me.
Right.
Oh, I've had to
Thinking
pop up
back,
there a couple times. And it is
yeah,
very true because when I saw other people in there that didn't have family like that, they didn't get treated like how my mom got treated.
and do
Right.
you want to know why I think that is, though? Is if you show up every day and you're with your mother, father, or whatever, it turns them from just a bed to a human being,
Yep.
right? And you treat a human being a little bit better than you do a bed.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think
Yeah.
it's got to make them human. Shannon, I think also if anyone could organize a list of services in their state just to help, that's a great idea. I don't even know how we would begin to do that.
If you don't have anyone in a nursing home, find someone. Find
Anybody.
someone that you go and you get to know and you visit,
Yeah.
because you will be making that person's life better. When they make their plans for the day, when they get out on the floor and they know who needs baths and who needs this or their nails cut or whatever,
Little
the first thing
basic
on their
thing.
mind is who is going to have visitors. Okay, so who's going to see what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
And the
I
people
agree
who
with
get
that.
regular visitors get preferential treatment. They get to them faster because they know if a family member comes in to visit and the person is in a wet outfit and their hair hasn't been combed or they haven't been shaved or whatever, it
Right.
makes
Oh no, that's not necessarily true because I work at night and I sleep when my kids are in school. Okay,
Right.
I've gone in there with my hair just in a bun, in sweatpants, in a sweatshirt, and trust me, I got mine done. You just can't. I don't play those games when it comes to my family. I'm a brute force and I'm a force to be reckoned with, and I know my laws because I study my laws.
Yeah, but see, the
Like,
thing is you are like that, but a lot of people don't have, a boss 5'10". They need them, but they don't have them.
oh,
And
I was talking about the
I was
patient, not
even,
the patient, not the
yeah, yeah, but my mom, what really made me mad is I had to cut my mom's hair because there was a legitimate, like, rat's nest. Like, you think of a knot, you think of, like, have you ever seen what it looks like? It looked like a dread, but it was just in a ball on top of her head.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
my,
if my mom's hair gets like that too, because she's always laying. But
yeah.
I got on them the last time I was in there, and it was like that, and it hasn't happened again.
Can I
Because
give
they
you
know
both some advice?
something.
Can I both give you some advice?
We have
When it
Sarah
comes to,
Harris coming.
and I'm very sorry that you had to put your mom in a home, but
Well, again, this is for people who listen. We are. Somebody said that they can. You allowing everyone to vent. That's why I do these. We're not going to judge anybody
No.
because it gets so hard, and we need somewhere to go. I don't need to be like go out and think people going, "Oh, Shannon, you're doing such a great job," and in my mind, I'm going, "No, I want to kick her off the balcony." I mean, I thank you for that.
understand that.
I'm thinking if I could toss her
Shannon,
off,
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the store real quick for my mom.
okay, boss. Thanks
Love
for being
you.
on.
Hi, Shannon. Or hi, Sarah.
Hi,
Hi.
honey.
Hi.
Have
Bye.
a good
All right. I'll be back later if you guys are still on. All right.
Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you too, baby.
But yeah, if you have the opportunity and you have time, go make a friend in a nursing home. Someone who doesn't get visitors, and go see them once or twice a week. Don't set a schedule, just show up whenever. Because if they don't know when you're coming, they'll have them ready.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's rough.
When my mother was in the rehab center, there was a woman that was in the same room with her called Miss Fay. And Miss Fay was so wonderful. And when mom got out, Catherine and I went to see Miss Fay, after my mother was out, until she went home. And you're right, it makes a difference. Again, it turns a quote unquote bed to Miss Fay.
Right.
That's who's there. It's not just walking through that the rehab. My God, just looking over in a room, you thought, Jesus, not me. Please don't let me be like this. Please don't let me. And I'm the only daughter. I'm the only child of my mom, for my mom. So it's all me.
I am too now. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like my oldest daughter's got 3 teenage sons, and she works. She is stretched. There's not a lot more she can put, and I wouldn't put it on her plate anyway. And then Devin is 30, just starting out, her good part of life. And Sarah's musical chairs, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you?
We're just gonna bitch for a little while, and
Well, and I was on both ends because I took care of my dad. He had cellulitis in his leg, so he had a wound vac and all of that. And then, he went through a lot. I was also a caregiver, and I also directed a CBRF for people with dementia. So
wow.
I see both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I
Yeah.
get how, like, you go into a nursing home and you see people and it's rough. I was one of those people, like, I whoever needed help got help. I didn't just stick to my residence or whatever. I cared for whoever needed help. So they're not all bad.
No,
they're
not
really
bad,
not.
and it's not even bad the way they have to do it. It's just the way it is. They don't have enough people, enough
No,
time.
no, absolutely not. And I remember being pregnant with my son, and I worked in a nursing home, and we were so short staffed that even me being pregnant, I was working second shift, and I had to take care of a whole entire wing of people, a whole hallway.
Right.
And, they're all getting upset because, they're like, why can't we get more staff in here? They weren't upset with me because they knew that I was doing what I could to, get them to bed and everything. I'm only one person, but it is really that bad.
Right. It is that bad. 100% it's that bad.
Well, and another tip, if you have someone in a nursing home, take care of the people who work there too when you can.
Yes, correct.
Take muffins or take cookies or make up a huge salad, because most of them aren't eating well. They're eating out of the machines or they're eating out of the cafeteria there. If you're making something at home, make up a big chicken salad or taco salad. Take it up there and they'll remember that you cared enough about that it's good for morale.
And that's a great idea, actually.
It is. And it really does make a difference when, little treats or whatever are brought in, and, it's just really hard.
We have to remember, I guess, that we deal with one and they're dealing with 21. And, the same needs that our person has or more needs up and down that hallway. And, I've got it. Another good thing is you have to do is find a good doctor. If your person's doctor is just like, find one. And I know it's hard when they're this age, but you gotta find a doctor that understands what's going on here and all the different things that carries with it. can support you while you're doing, what you're supposed to do. My mom has got some great doctors.
Yeah.
Just is amazing.
It's important. It really is important.
It is. Her neurologist is great. I've got friends whose parents don't have these great doctors. So then you like say, oh, well, you got to go check out Dr. So-and-so. Well, then that shit gets filled up. Stop doing that. I'm just kidding. But it does get filled up.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
start spreading the word about how great this doctor is, and then you're right back where you came from.
Yep.
But it's
I've dealt with doctors on that end too, like trying to get meds for people or trying to get, just the simplest thing, a cream. And it's like it takes 10 days and yeah, no. Some doctors suck.
They do. They really, really do. And like I know when my mom was in the rehab, they had a doctor that came in a couple times a week. You got a whole floor of patients that need rehabilitation, and there's only a couple of doctors that come in a few times a week. And then overnight, forget about it. There ain't nobody there overnight. So,
Yep.
And this was one of the best rehabs in town. And it was a fucking train wreck over there.
Yep, it can be.
I had to get stupid with a batch of nurses over my mom, and it was a legitimate, deal. And I mean, it was bad. But then a couple months later, my grandmother went in, and actually, funny enough, to the very same room my mother was in. And when one of those, and I know that they're lovely, one of those CNAs came in and looked at me, she said, "Oh no." And I said, "Yeah, you thought I got stupid over mom? Wait till I get stupid over grandma." And I hate to be like that, but and I understand that they're understaffed. I get it. I 100% get it. But they would tell me that, and I would go, "That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. It's not my problem. That you're making it my problem, because my mother, my grandmother, whatever, is not getting the care that she needs." So that is when you want to rip them right out and bring them home, because you could do better. And then about a month or two into that, you're thinking, "Oh hell, what have I done?"
Yeah.
What have I done? Medicare patients get more therapy than Medicaid patients. I don't even know anymore. And I don't want to bring politics into this, but we know a lot of programs have been slashed.
Yes,
and a lot of, thank you, Robert Kennedy Jr., for your dumbass. But a lot of these programs have been slashed, and there's going to be a whole lot more caretakers out there taking care of a parent, grandparent, whatever. And, because Elon Musk didn't really get it.
Well, if we're talking about elderly parents, though, they're going to have Medicare. Some of them have both.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're all going to have Medicare.
But you got to jump through more hoops now to get that. And we've been with it with my mom. And, when Elon made these cuts, it was immediate. There wasn't by 2027, we're going to do this. Oh, no, he slashed them right there.
Right.
So we have had to go through hoops on medications or the CAT scans or the PET scan. And, the people that work at these places, it's not their fault, but they get the brunt of it, because I can't talk to Elon and yell at him. This poor person that works at the oncology center needs to, I got to bitch at her when she didn't do anything.
Right.
So it's like and it's never ending turmoil. And all you want to do is protect your loved one from it and handle it all. But then there comes a time where I'm going to go outside and punch air for about 20 minutes. I'll be right back, because it's just so maddening. It's maddening. You have to advocate for loved ones and yourself. And if you're having a hard time, go to the advocates. Yeah. So then Nancy Stevens is probably the one 100% to talk to, because she has lived this for so long, these very things. And oh shit, I'm sorry. To do that. And thank God she's my friend, her and Angela, because I do know I can pick up that phone and they will calm me down and reassure me and tell me what to do. You know, the best way to do it. Not everybody has a Nancy Stevens or Angela Stevens that have been there and done that and can tell you. We're all just kind of flying right now. We don't know what we're doing, you know, and we have to figure it out quickly because it's our loved one at stake. We don't want, you know, X, Y, and Z to happen. It's just a never ending. And I am not in any way we all get frustrated. It's always too much. Someone you love is going through all that, and you are not equipped enough to handle it, but you have to anyway. So you deserve to be able to say, I am done for the next, I'm done. You got to give me 30 minutes or what I am done. And then, you know, it's just so hard. It's so hard.
It is hard.
And these, like Janie was saying, these rehabs, they discharge my mother, my grandmother. What the hell you want me to do? What am I supposed to do? And they're like, wow, yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. No, I'm not gonna figure it out. I'm not that smart. Trust me. I'm way too selfish to do this.
Yeah, that's Medicare for you. 21 days, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I had to fight to keep my mom in a couple more weeks. And
well, my mom had 10 more days than that because of the private pay insurance that she had.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So she got like 31 days. But on that 31st day, they were sending her home no matter what.
Of course.
Thank God Luke's aunt is the director of nursing at a nursing home. Because I called her and I was just like, I can't do this. They're sending her home. And you might as well go ahead and call APS on me because I cannot care for her in my home.
I'm going to make you a mod so you can drop that. And I will 100%. Let's do that.
But I told her straight up front, I said, it is going to be an abuse situation, not by my choice, but because I can't lift her. I can't get her through any doorways in my house in a wheelchair. I have, no way to bathe her. Who wants to be abusive to their parent? No one. Well, there are some people,
no one.
but nobody wants to be abusive to their parent.
Okay, you can drop it now. You're a mod. You're a moderator.
And then, you've got to remember too, there's got to be some sort of respite. You can't constantly do for someone else and not take care of yourself.
Right.
And
they told me, they said, we can send a caregiver. Well, is the caregiver going to magically be able to get her into my bathroom? No.
Yeah.
Right.
800 caregivers, and they're not going to be able to get a wheelchair through my door.
Right.
I'm sorry. I didn't get. I just dropped it, Alma. Unless this caregiver is a carpenter that can widen out the doors and shit, then I wouldn't bother.
Right. But
I need a general contractor.
If I could get another house or have repairs or renovations done to this one, I would love to have my mother back home.
Of course.
Right.
Where she could be taken care of here and still be with us. But, they did not care. They were sending her in an ambulance because they knew that I couldn't even come pick her up because they couldn't have gotten her in my car in the state she was in.
Right.
So they're like, no, we're going to have an ambulance bring her to the house.
Hey, Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Carrie.
How you doing?
Hello, everybody.
How are your implants working?
Sure. Not my
man.
boobs, everybody. I have cochlear implants.
All right, here comes Alma.
What?
Hey, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Can you help us out?
A little bit. I see a whole bunch of stuff that's being spoken about it's hard to keep up with it. So we've already told them there's a difference in the Medicares and the managed Medicares, which is going to be most of your community Medicares, which those are wonderful if you're in relatively good health and out in the general population, in your home.
Right.
But when you go into a facility to maximize your Medicare, straight A is going to give you the better benefits.
Straight A.
Yeah, straight Medicare A.
Right. Okay.
Fortunately, the Medicare managed cares can cut you. So they can say at day 10, they can say, oh, they've reached their maximum potential, so we're going to get them out of here.
Right.
A lot of like Humana, that's one. The Humanas, they will send these people a debit card with money that can be spent at the grocery store or pharmacy. And they do this as incentives for people to sign up for their health cares. Your United Health Cares, all of them.
Yes.
They do that to get them to sign up with them, and then they get to control the costs.
Well, that's it. My mom has Humana.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had a directions to, well, let's not make terroristic threats, but I have wanted everyone at the Humanities facility to, I'm telling you right now, they are horrible.
I know they are. I do this insurance company every day. I no longer investigate, but I do deal with insurance companies for Medicare, for the senior population mostly. But now also, it is not just senior population that has Medicare.
Nope.
It all has to do with what you've paid into it,
And the thing is, I say when my mother signed up for Humana, I was like, well, she told me after the fact. And my thing is, Mom, we really need to do this together. We need to look at all these things together. And that's when you would fire back with, what, you think I'm too stupid to do this? No, I don't think you're too stupid to do this, but I think, you don't look at everything, and she would refuse to look at anything else. It was like, Jesus, hell, Mom, give me something here.
Well, once they go into the hospital, once they have a qualifying stay, which that's 3 days or 3 sleeps in a hospital room, it does not include the emergency room. That's with Med A. Now, your managed Medicares may go on. Some of them go on if you're only there a couple of days, and they'll approve you to go into a facility for treatment or assistance, whatever skilled service they're going to receive.
Right.
But once they go into the hospital, they can change, with a qualifying stay, they can they can revert back to whatever insurance.
I did not know that.
Yes, but you will have to call and or talk with the facility when they go to discharge and have them change it back. The catch is these do not take place until the 1st of the following month. Oh. So if you change it mid-September, it will not go into effect until October 1st. And there's ways to maximize, some of these stays. Which I work closely. Well, I've got a friend that will often call and tell me, hey, I'm going to do this or that for this patient, or I'm going to do this or that for that patient. What do you think about this? And, we'll discuss,
right,
how we think it would help maximize it, and then speak with the resident, or the family, or however. But it can be very tricky to navigate through this stuff. And unfortunately, it's all about heading to bed.
It is, and then you watch these commercials that are aimed at, these baby boomers, and they promise the world and they give you shit. And I can name them off. that, and I think Humana, my mom saw it on TV, thought this is wonderful, and this was, she said it's part of Medicare. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And I said, why? Because they'll say, give us your location. We'll see if you qualify. I said, so you mean that the United States government is going to approve people down the street, not you? That's not how it works.
Right.
But
I don't mean to keep coughing. I'm sorry.
State of Florida, thank you for coming. I love you. You know I love you. You know I do. Yeah, so again, you can't. And then they get mad because my mother gets mad because she said I treat her like she's stupid. No, I'm not. I'm looking out for your mom. No.
Listen, my mom does the same thing. We went through something similar, only because luckily I know a lot about some of the different avenues to take. Just like when they go into a facility, like my mom had an amputation because of her diabetes. And she also had a stroke. So the right side of her body, she's got limited use. And when they go into the facilities after a digit is removed from them,
right?
They are, with Medicare, it's a contractual thing, and they're required to do anything, that the doctors are ordering when they're getting released from the hospital. And just for instance, the care plans, if you can attend the care plan meetings, I encourage it. Go, so you know what's going on and what the plan is.
Hey,
a lot of people don't. And we started getting up there in days, and I'm like, well, where's her motorized wheelchair? We told you that was important. We put that in the care plan. And I happen to know that that's part of your contracted payment. You're going to pay for that.
Right.
When they accept these people, trust me, they're pricing out the medications. They're pricing out anything that's going to have to do for care before they go into the facility. That's what determines if they accept someone. Gosh. Or if they have behavior problems. They're going to look at all of it.
Right.
And they didn't want to get her motorized chair, and I had to make some phone calls, and I had to let them know, I know you're contracted for this. This is part of it. This was ordered. You're going to pay for this. She's not going to. This is part of your contracted agreement. You're going to do this.
And they're not counting on someone like you who knows what they're talking
about. No, they don't. They don't. And once they're gone, you're going to play hell getting anything done. Then you're going to be complaining to Medicare, and you're going to have to really raise a big stink even with Medicare to get them to open an investigation. It's really hard, to get through that. Mm-hmm.
This whole thing. And then I again, by the time all this is done, my mother passed or whatever, it's going to be my turn. I told my kids, I said, just hit me over there and bury me in the garden. I am not doing this to y'all, please. But we are getting older.
Mm-hmm.
And, looking at your reality, because that's what you're doing. When you're a caregiver, you are looking at your eventual reality, you think, and I'm looking at this going, I don't want to live like this.
Right.
I don't want to put my kids through this.
Well, and I agree with Janie when she told you, society does try to make you feel like you are, required.
Yes.
In the real world, the way things are nowadays, you just can't, because, when people used to do that before, you had a whole family that was available to help.
Exactly.
And now people don't. So, I encourage you to at least do the respite stays, so you can go on vacation.
Yes, that's very important.
Yeah.
I again haven't. I think was it been 3 years now? I have not left this home overnight. Oh no, I have to lie. I'm lying. When I almost died last July, I did have to leave the home for 6 days while I was trying to die. Then I didn't. Then I came back, and it was bad. Bless my husband. It was me who I couldn't walk. Right? I mean, I could walk, but I couldn't balance. And so he had to help me. Then he had to go help mom. And then my mother would say, would Chris just go back to work? Shannon can help me. And Chris was like, Lois, your daughter can't walk. You know, she was throwing it on me, not caring, what I was going through physically. Well, she'll be fine. She can help. If I fall, she can help. And he was like, you would have a better chance of picking her up than her picking you up.
Was your dad a veteran?
My dad was, but but they haven't been married in 7
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She could qualify for even services through veteran services. I encourage you to call it. I know many people that utilize it and get home health care assistance with that as well.
Yep.
Oh, that's my phone. I'm writing that down. I'm going to check that out tomorrow.
And Shannon, if you think about it, when you were sick and in the hospital and all that, that's probably the only time that no one made you feel like you should feel guilty for not being taking care of your mom.
Yeah. Yeah, actually.
Okay. I just want to make a comment to everybody in the chat's fighting about Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare is for people who are disabled and people over the age of 65. If you are deemed disabled and you are getting SSDI through the government, you are forced into Medicare.
I have been on Medicare since I was 27 years old.
Yeah.
Now, there are some people that can get Medicaid to supplement if
their income is low enough or they don't have all the assets. Yeah.
Correct. So, no, it's not only for people over 65. And
absolutely,
you don't have a choice. If you have SSDI, if you are getting disability payments through the government, you are forced into Medicare.
Yep.
Period. It doesn't matter what age you are.
Yeah, like I said, I've been on it since I was 27.
And Medicare doesn't cover everything.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Some people think that. Some people think, oh, well, I've got Medicaid. I'm gonna be able to do that. No, you can't. Hey, Cass, it doesn't cover everything. And
Actually, Medicare covers more than Medicaid.
Oh,
but
not necessarily.
Well, it depends on qualifications.
Medicaid is provided by the state, while Medicare is provided by the federal government.
Yeah,
exactly. Like Medicare, Medicaid will also cover your dental. Medicare doesn't.
No.
No. Well, in some states, it depends on where you are too. Because Medicaid is not I grew up in Wisconsin, and Medicaid is not covered, or dental is not covered by Medicaid.
Wow.
It depends on what state you're in.
Oh, that's crazy. That's if you get in a federal program, why would it turn around and be up to the state to what it covers? That doesn't make any sense to me.
It depends on it depends on
that's
I don't know, the dentists. They got tired of Medicaid not paying them, so they stopped covering it.
I had a friend who's
unless you're a kid.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine whose children were on Medicaid. And you think you can get them into a doctor around here? Hell no, doctors don't take it.
They'll only take so many.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
once they get the ratio, you have to find someone else. And some people have to travel to go get these services.
That's what she had to do. This poor woman had to drive like an hour and a half to a dentist that would see her children. And then medically, even though they were like, thank God, those kids were already established at a pediatrician. So they kind of had to take it. They don't want to. But had they not taken it, it would have been the same thing with if they get a cold, you got to drive an hour and a half away to a doctor that covers you. Hospital will, obviously a hospital will, but you don't want to take your kid to the hospital for a 24-hour wait. It's not really that long, but a 10-hour wait for a cold.
Yes, you are forced into Medicare if you are on disability. You have to take Medicare if you're on disability.
Yeah,
And
go
I
go
just want to
for it.
say too, mental health care, it doesn't matter, at least in the state of Texas, I don't know other states, but in the state of Texas, mental health care, if you're on Medicare or Medicaid, you might as well kiss it goodbye.
Yeah.
You're not going to get mental health care.
Yeah. Even though
Oh, you'll
sometimes
get it
your
at some place like
disability
in
is
Cincinnati. You'll go to some there's like these big community places, but there's so many
Yeah,
patients that it takes
gonna,
months to get in.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to be herded like cattle.
Mhm.
And you can get the cattle herd mental health care here in Texas too. But basically, if you're on Medicare or Medicaid in Texas and you want real mental health care, like regular monthly or weekly visit with a therapist or something, you can't find a therapist who will take it because they don't get paid.
Yeah.
Well, and they
that's in
maximize how
some
many
areas.
visits you can have. Like of course, my husband carries our health insurance, and we've got excellent health insurance, but you only get so many visits per year if you need to
Right.
utilize that service.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's a shame, and they wonder why all this stuff goes on.
So yeah, Matt, when I was 27 and I was put on federal disability, I was forced into Medicare, even though I still had private insurance from the job I was working at, and I was on what's it called, long-term disability through my job.
Cobra.
Yeah,
Like Cobra. Yeah.
I still had to take Medicare, even though I had my own private insurance.
Mm-hmm.
so. I mean, do you live in Cincinnati?
The Cincinnati area.
All right. So I love Cincinnati. My son fell in love with the love of his life who lives in Cincinnati. So a couple of years ago, we drove up to Cincinnati, like right after Christmas, all the way through, about 4th or 5th of January.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it the next year. And thank God now he just flies. But he will be moving there.
Oh, really?
Yes. But I love your city.
I'm from Cincinnati too.
I knew Janie was. I knew Janie was from here. Cincinnati it's huge.
Yeah, it is. It's gigantic.
It's got many cities, within it.
I can't remember what Chevet. Is it that?
Cheviot?
Yeah, we stayed there the first time. The second time we stayed, I don't even know where this was, but when it was New Year's Eve, right? And we're Airbnb, and so I go outside, and it literally sounds like I am in the Ukraine. It was and it went on forever. It was just, honest to God, I've never ever in my life heard that many gunshots from that many directions. And I thought,
you got hillbillies with explosives everywhere around here.
I thought they gonna find me with a bullet in my hand, and nobody's gonna know what the hell happened. My fat ass in right away, for sure. But
but they just had the big Labor Day is a huge fireworks celebration.
Yeah.
In Cincinnati, which I'm surprised. I kept waiting to see if they were going to cancel it because of the stuff that was going on in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But they didn't. But it's a huge firework event every year.
Oh, you're 15 minutes from this? Well, the next time I come, we're just all going to go have lunch.
There you go.
I love that city. I love it. It's beautiful. And my son's girlfriend works for the Children's Hospital.
Oh,
yeah. So she's a special kind of person.
My son is trying to call me. I'll be right back.
Okay. So,
it's one of the best hospitals around.
Yeah, I agree. I know. And I think the last time we were there, it was a day or two before. It was the Cincinnati Bengal, the one that, I don't think he was a Bengal, the man that pretty much died on the football field. Do you remember that?
He wasn't. It was.
Yeah, he was. I can't remember where he was. Which team?
He was on the opposite team.
Yeah, he was. And we were, I think, there
They took him up to UC, and
Yeah.
UC is one of the a top level in the United States. Can't remember where they ranked, but it's a really good trauma hospital.
There's something about driving into that city at night, right? And
Mhm.
one way I came was through like the country, and then the second time I went right through. The city is so gorgeous with
I
those
used to,
lights.
I used to work on the Kentucky side, and
Yeah,
I used to work till midnight. And when I'd come home crossing the bridge at night, it was so beautiful coming down from Kentucky into downtown Cincinnati.
That bridge.
Janie, did you ever go up to Davoo?
Davoo Park?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very pretty view of the city.
It is very pretty.
It's a really great city, I have to say. I really enjoyed it. I only spent a couple of weeks there, through the years, but what's funny is my grandfather, when my grandmother and my grandfather got married, he worked for Greyhound, and they moved to Cincinnati of all places, and they lived there, for a couple of years. Now I named my son after my grandfather, and my son is going to go live in Cincinnati. It just blows my mind.
There's parts of Cincinnati that I won't go through. I mean, I have to drive through it on my way to work, but I won't visit it, because there's areas of it that has a lot of crime.
Sure. Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah. That's what we had Jay, his girlfriend, think, hey, Mama T. Jay was able to, she kind of guided us to where we could, a good place to stay and a good place to stay. So we had that, thank goodness. But when it was just a sweet city, everybody was so nice. And I remember going into a Target, and I said, okay, only in Cincinnati can we have parkas on one side of the aisle and bikinis on the other side of the aisle.
Right.
In January, but it was, everybody we found was great. My golly, went to a Skyline chili. I can't with that stuff. I'm sorry. I tried the Skyline chili.
You don't like Skyline?
No.
I'm a Gold Star girl.
Oh my God.
I am not. My boy loves it. But
I love Skyline.
I can't. I tried. I tried twice. And see, we don't have like a White Castle here. I'm in Lynchburg, Virginia. We ain't got, and when he brought, we've had frozen White Castle.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. But when he brought in the thing of fresh ones, look out. Mama was in that I had boxes everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I bet they were talking to you the next morning.
It was okay, though. It was okay.
They're good, though. They're
good. So good. I mean, there
like
were boxes all over the place. Let me see. Well, it's 3:30. So, I mean, I feel like we should, I'm going to schedule another one of these in 2 weeks. Hold on, I just had the 21st. So let's do this again on the 21st. And know that you're not alone. We're all here. Look, my email is in my description. Contact, I don't know that I can help you, but I can definitely, Janie and with Amma.
Homework. Let's give homework.
Let's do
now and 2 weeks from today. Everyone write down 2 self-care things you did for yourself in that 2-week period of time, so that we can share them and give each other ideas of ways we got respite or took care of ourselves to make sure that we're good to take care of other people.
That's a great thing of homework. And there better be 2.
Yep.
Don't not do it. You have to have 2 or you're going to be, disciplined.
One for each week. Because once a week, you should be doing something for self.
Thank you, Whistle Down. Whistle Down says her email is in her description. And see, Mama T has got some medical experience this, because she actually, is in that field as well. So she knows a lot about this too. But in 2 weeks, let's meet back here, and you have to have at least 2 types of self-care, and you have to share it.
Or
And
rest
Mama,
it. Like, did
I
you
hope
go to
you
a
come
movie?
back. I'm begging you.
I
to come
will.
back.
I will. And
And everybody,
listen, I'm going to challenge you to contact the Veteran Services
yeah, oh,
and
that's on my list. I've
find
got
out what
here.
services you can get for your mom.
So yeah,
Start
tomorrow
the process.
that's gonna happen tomorrow. And I appreciate, I had no idea that that she would be eligible for that. But there you go. Gossip has got her email. So let's build up this support system and you know, be there for each other, because you know we have to do this so that we can take better care of our loved ones. We've got to have some support.
Right.
And this way, you don't have to leave the house to go to a support group. You know, we can just go right online, and it's probably better for everybody. You know, so I do appreciate you, Janie, and I'm a Candy, and Sarah's musical chairs, and Carrie popped up, and Matt, everybody that's really shared. I appreciate you so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. But if you need us before then, we're only an email away. So,
Everyone have a great night.
You too. Everybody have a wonderful day. I love you all so much. And I will see you in 2 weeks for this. And everybody take care of yourself too. All right. You have to do that. So, okay, guys, I love you, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much.
See ya.